One of the most desired demographics that you can market to as an agent is the turning 65 market. These are seniors who are getting onto Medicare for the very first time. I want to take a minute today and talk to Christian about why the turning 65 market is so highly desired by agents everywhere and how you can get in front of more of these seniors who fall into this category, who are new to Medicare. Christian, I appreciate you taking the time to jump on a video with me today and to kind of kick this can around a little bit so we can hopefully help educate some agents out there who might not understand how valuable a new to Medicare client is. What are some of those reasons why this is such a sought after market?
Yeah, I think it's kind of an age-old question, but I think when you look back at the details of a turning 65 prospect and all the benefit that it can bring to your business, it's no secret at all. Number one, people have always said that the Medicare business is a seasonal business. Glenn, I know you came from the life world and you heard that probably quite a bit, right? You can't sell all year
Absolutely.
round. You can only
Yep.
sell for 2 months out of the year. But
Yep.
the turning 65 world presents an opportunity where you can sell all year round. There's that age-old saying that's been around for, well, ever since I've been doing this over 10 years, that there's 10,000 people a day turning 65, but the number's really a lot closer to 11,200 a day these days. So there's more people aging in than ever. We're going to be growing by 27% of Medicare beneficiaries from 2025 to 2030, which is the biggest growth in the Medicare pool that we've ever had in history. So these people need help. And not only that, on Medicare Advantage sales, you make more commission the first year because of true up business. It's
Yep.
a younger client, longer lifetime value of the client. There's just so much value overall for your business. And there's nothing that really compares to T65 business.
Yeah, I think one of the big things that comes up a lot, especially when I'm talking with agents and agency owners, is persistency, right? I mean, lifetime client value in the marketing world, it's all about, your CPA, your cost per acquisition, or your lifetime client value. That you're kind of weighing these two metrics against each other. How much does it cost me to acquire this client? And what is the lifetime client value? So, the that lifetime client value it's a moving target. I mean, Christian and I talk about this all the time in our own business. If you have someone who is only on your books for 3 years, your lifetime client value is going to be a lot less than someone who's been on your books for 15, 20 years. And you can't have a senior on your books for 15 or 20 years typically, unless you get them when they're new to Medicare, right? Obviously, the average lifespan of a senior right now is around 85. So if you get them at 65 and they stay on your books until the end of their life, you could potentially have a 20-year plus client on the books. I mean, Christian, how many times have you seen that happen in our own business?
I know for a fact that we'll have a lot of clients that will reach the 20-year mark that I personally wrote or agents of ours have personally wrote. ESI as a company has been in business for 12 years, and there's a lot of clients that pop up on a regular basis that have been with us since that first year that are still with us today and still trust us to work with them on their plan. But there's also books of businesses that we've acquired from agents that have been doing it longer than we have, right? 20
Yeah.
years, 25 years, 30 years, 35 years, to where we'll see clients that are on the books that have been on for 15 years, 20 years, and even longer in some cases. And so there's just really nothing like it and nothing to compare it to.
So when you're looking at, again, all great points, but let's take advantage of a 15 to 20 year client. Let's call that lifetime client value $2,000, right? Which I think is honestly conservative. I think you could make an argument that it could even be higher. But if you have a lifetime client value of a turning 65 new to Medicare prospect of $2,000, and then you're able to have an acquisition cost of, let's say, $300, you're looking at a monster ROI. In this scenario, we're talking about a $1,700 return on that $300 spend. Now, obviously, it takes time to see that ROI come back to fruition. You might even spend some money on infrastructure like customer service. You might have a virtual assistant that's helping you, etc. But again, that's not something that most businesses get to take advantage of, where they have such a disparity between their client acquisition cost and their lifetime client value. So it kind of becomes this game of how can you get that cost per acquisition as low as possible? And also, how can you have a system in place where it can be a repeatable process where you're getting these prospects in the door on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Because that's the other thing. If you're having a really great cost per acquisition and you know what your lifetime client value is, but it's only happening a couple times a month, that's going to be difficult to really continue to grow your business, grow your book. But if you can do this on a daily basis or a weekly basis where you have prospects coming in, that can really make a difference. Christian, I know that was a big moment for you when you started spending money on leads as an agent. For a long time, I think you did a lot organically, you did a lot of
Hmm.
sweat equity in the marketing department. Maybe you could take a second and talk about how that kind of transitioned your business as an agent when you really started to spend money on leads and money on marketing.
Yeah, I think when I started to make that shift as an agent, and then later on as an agency owner, on spending money on my business, I was giving myself time back where I was able to spend it on other areas and other ways to grow my business, if not in the early years of selling, working more prospects and writing more volume of business, because I went away from throwing darts in the dark, if you will, hoping I'd hit my target and kind of aimlessly wandering around, which don't get me wrong, you kind of have to do when you first get started in some cases. But you're going from a person that might not have any interest and you're combing through the people that have no interest, looking for someone that has interest, whether you're doing sweat equity tactics or anything like that. And you're transitioning into a place where people do have genuine interest and have requested information from you, and it's a game changer. Your quality of lead goes up by quite a bit. The person is going to be in the market for what you're buying, and it's just an efficiency thing, right? I've always
It
said
is.
you and I have talked about this a lot on the podcast and other types of content we've done together. You only have one of two assets to give up to
Right,
acquire a client, time or
right.
money. And when the time becomes finite and you just don't have that much of it to give anymore, it makes sense to part with some funds in order to get a more efficient and time-intensive client acquisition.
Yeah, especially with the turning 65 market being a pipeline game. These are folks, if you're marketing actively, no matter what method you choose, they might be anywhere from, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12 months out, again, depending on how you're marketing and prospecting. So if you spend money on marketing, it might take some time for that to come back. But again, it is a time efficiency. You're being more efficient with your time. You're talking to more interested prospects, which what I can tell you again, being in the marketing space for as long as I have, Christian being in this space for as long as he has been, every single time an agent who's competent has, a CRM, they understand how to sell Medicare, when they start to spend money on leads and marketing, typically their business almost hockey sticks every time. Because if they have the skills and they have the systems in place, the infrastructure to really grow, and they start to pour that gasoline, which is ultimately what leads are, you're going to start to close and generate a lot more clients. But it is an investment. Like Christian said, it is an investment into your business, into growing your book. Start to see a significant ROI over time. So, I wanted to take a second too and mention as we get towards the end of this video, right now, if you're looking for more turning 65 prospects, if you're one of those agents where you feel like you've really started to figure it out, you have a strong base and you're really just trying to grow, you're trying to find more turning 65 prospects, Lead Heroes has an offer right now where you can get a $30 exclusive call verified turning 65 lead that's opted in online. They spoke to someone in our call center and they confirmed that they want to talk to an agent to get help. This is something that, in my opinion, doesn't really exist in the marketplace. And normally these cost $50 or more per lead. So you can save $600 or more with the Lead Heroes Loves You sale right now. So head over to leadheroes.com. We'll also have the link below this video. You can click that link and grab your discounted turning 65 leads. And like I said, this is essentially pouring gasoline on your Medicare business. If you get 100 of these, you should easily be able to close 15 to 30. It might take a little bit of time because again, they're anywhere from 2 to 5 months out. So some of these folks who are interested and need your help, you might have to wait a little bit and do some follow-up before you can actually write their policy. But ultimately, a 15 to 30% closing percentage on these leads is not unimaginable. So wanted to offer that to any agents who are struggling, who need help with more prospects, and they're trying to really grow in that turning 65 space.
This is definitely something that you guys should take advantage of if you want to grow your Turning 65 pipeline and grow your business year round with the Turning 65 market. There's few better ways to do it than with a Turning 65 lead from Lead Heroes. Like Glenn said, they are, double verified, online opt-in, spoke with one of our callers in our call center. So you know that they recently, in the last, a lot of times, couple of hours, have answered the phone for somebody. It doesn't get too much better than that. The biggest issue that people usually have with leads these days is getting them to pick up the phone. But how can you do better than a lead that just picked up the phone? So make sure to take advantage of this offer while you can, and let's grow your business with some turning 65 leads.
If you were to compare the Lead Heroes turning 65 leads to turning 65 leads generated from Facebook, I'm willing to go on record right now and say they're probably 10 times more likely to pick up the phone. That's data that I've seen firsthand. Because again, we just spoke to them within the last 24, 48 hours. They spoke to someone from our team and then we passed it along to you. So the chances of them picking up the phone again are significantly higher than a direct mail lead, than a Facebook lead. And that's one of the biggest hurdles in 2026. The other thing I wanted to take a second to mention too is exclusivity. There are plenty of other lead vendors out there that offer leads like Turning 65 leads, but typically they share those leads. They sell them to you, they sell them to a call center, they sell them to 3 agencies, and by the time you get that lead and you do try to get a hold of that person, they've probably already spoken to 10, 20 other agents. Now, keep in mind the turning 65 market is competitive. There's a lot of people marketing out there. They're doing a bunch of different things to try to get in front of this same audience that we all are. There is going to be competition from other agents, but what I can tell you is that Lead Heroes, we do not and have not resold or shared any of our leads that we generate. When we get someone on the phone and they say, yes, I want to speak with an agent who can help me, that's an exclusive lead that only goes to one person, either one agency owner or one agent, whoever is the buyer of that lead. It's 100% exclusive to you. And that's been important to me from day one with Lead Heroes and everything we've done. I had to deal with shared leads as an agent early on in my career. It almost knocked me out of the business entirely because it became so problematic. So from day one, it was super important to me that all leads at Lead Heroes are 100% exclusive to the end user. So I did want to take a second and kind of explain that. Christian, anything else you think folks should know about Lead Heroes Turning 65 leads or the Turning 65 market in general?
Yeah, I would say, to kind of give you guys my final thoughts on this, I would not wait on this because it seems like we're doing less and less of these massive promos and offers
Yes.
all the time. If you really want to get in on this and you really want to start filling your pipeline with Turning 65 business, this is probably as good of a time as any to do it. This is an offer specifically on the Turning 65 leads that we only do once per year, typically around this time of the year.
Yeah.
So make sure to take advantage of it while you can, and it's a fantastic opportunity.
It's a great point. I also wanted to offer you guys our resources at Lead Heroes. If you need help selling to any of our Lead Heroes leads, we have a bunch of resources available to you. Shoot an email over to leads, Leads, leads at leadheroes.com. If you have a question about the leads, how the system works, if you want to integrate into a CRM, If you want to learn how you can get seven-figure CRM, our CRM system that Christian and I created, there's a program at Lead Heroes where you can actually get access to our CRM 100% free. So that's another opportunity as well. So don't wait. We might only do a couple of these this year. This time of year, this is going to be the only time we do it. And that offer again ends February 27th, Friday, February 27th at midnight. These go from $30 per lead back to 50. So really big discount and big savings right now. So again, head over to leadheroes.com. We'd love to help you out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned about the turning 65 market and why this is so valuable and such a great time to take advantage of the turning 65 marketplace.
Guys, make sure to click that link down below for the Lead Heroes offer. Learn more about it. Reach out if we can help you at all with it, and we'll see you over there. Thanks for watching the video.